one generic question that I'm pretty much getting from everybody, which is, I tried such and such a magical working and it didn't work. What am I doing wrong? And the basic answer to that question, in whatever form it takes, is what you're doing wrong is you're dabbling. Dabbling is where you are doing your best one time. You can't do this stuff once and get results from it any more than you can go to the gym once and lose weight, build muscles, and end up looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It takes more than that.
I was recently reminded of these clips from the Emanation channel on YouTube, which has been abandoned for about 5 years with no new uploads. Much longer than I've been on YouTube myself, but it still has some great content. And I was thinking of what he said here in particular recently, because I get a lot of questions from people wanting to know the specifics of a spell or rite, because obviously they want to do it correctly without making any mistakes. Just as in the last video, when George wondered if he should put his petition paper under the candle holder or between the candle holder and the candle itself, those are the types of questions that I'll get. And my answer to nitpicking those little details is not to worry about it. And from the previous video, you can see that George still got results, even though he did it differently than I would normally do it or somebody else would normally do it. And he got the results because he didn't nitpick over it. He didn't obsess over it and worry that he was going to mess the whole thing up. That is a big part of the dabbling that reminded me of those clips, and a big reason why people don't get results. You can get results on your first attempt if you're not overly concerned with the small nitpicking details. So what happens is people will go to do a money spell, for example. They want to give it a shot, just as in the clip when he said that people do their best one time. And so they'll go ahead and get a green candle, perhaps some oil and incense, and they don't want to mess it up because they only got the one green candle. And that's kind of where it goes off the rails, because they're giving it this one shot, this one attempt to see if it works, and they're putting all their hopes on that one money spell. And so it generates less for results. Obsessing over whether or not you're doing a part of it correctly also generates doubt. And those two things together, doubt and lust for results, will absolutely kill your magical operation. It would be much better for you to do something a little incorrectly or differently and not worry about it than for you to do something that's actually correct but worry that you may have done something incorrectly. Does that make sense? Look, if it doesn't work, go ahead and try it the other way after you've given it sufficient time to manifest. Because that's what we do. We practice magic. We are magical practitioners. We're not doing things just one time. Practice makes perfect. If something doesn't work out, you have your notes to go back to and do it differently. Try it the other way. And that's the great thing about magic, is it is an art. You can actually come up with a totally different way of doing something that works out fantastic for you. If you got the basics down, there's a whole lot of leeway in what you can incorporate. So you can get great results on your first try like George did if you're not obsessing over the details. That's what I like about what he did when he didn't know where to put the petition. Well, I'll try it this way and see what happens. And as long as you're approaching it like that, you'll have a much better chance at getting the results you're wanting. Go out and get a few candles so you're not putting all your hopes on one. And then afterwards forget about what you've done and not obsess over it with lust for results. And this is another reason why we continuously practice magic. You don't want to just wait until you need something desperately. You don't want to get into those kinds of situations. You can look on my channel for desperation magic video, and why it's the worst kind. Because when you're really desperate, it's going to be that much harder not to have lust for results, to not obsess over it. So go ahead and experiment. Go ahead and dabble. Just don't obsess and nitpick over the fine details, over the exact precise procedure, because that's the conscious mind getting in the way. How can you relax and get into that trance state when you're worried about such things? Trust yourself and your subconscious to know your intent. Now, I know this was a short video, but I wanted to get it out and share it while I was thinking about it. And I will see you next time. Until then, practice, practice, practice. Take care.